Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a game between apm87 and Yumiko. Here on Turtle Rock, you see apm87 spawning as the blue Night Elf player here at what I'll call the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, all the way on the other side of the map, we have Yumiko spawning as the red human under the name Claire. Don't quite know why these players decide to play under names that are not really their own, unless they are trying to smurf, and then that's really no fun, especially in a tournament where players do a lot of practicing. Smurfing, one of those things that there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's just, well, if you're already going to be that good, do you really need to school some non-professional players or up-and-coming professional players? Alright, Yumiko. Spawning here, he most likely will be going for that Archmage. Most likely we will be seeing a Demon Hunter come out from apm87. I'll try to refer to them as Night Elf and Human throughout the rest of the matchup, as the Demon Hunter on the Night Elf side really scales well against that Archmage. Archmage, because of that Brilliance Aura, always seems to have a fair amount of mana, and it is up to that Blade Master to shut down that Archmage and make sure that there isn't enough mana for a lot of water elementals. In this cross spawns here on Turtle Rock, we should expect to see a rather longer game. The reason being is that players are spawning further away from each other, meaning that there isn't going to be any crazy militia rushes coming in from Yumiko. Meanwhile, the Night Elf player can also creep out relatively quickly with this Ancient of War. If the Demon Hunter can win out in this experience war, he should have a decent enough advantage, or at least stay even compared to the human player who is going about and trying to do a bit of militia creeping. Now, what is that follow-up play going to be, as we already see one footman wandering out in order to scout out his opponent? That footman will come in here, take a look around, and then run back into his own base. A little bit of a marathon run there as he is heading home. So far, Ancient of War tanking a lot of that damage. Wisp could be coming over to repair, as we already see the Demon Hunter sitting at, well, obviously level 1. Just hasn't decided to use any real skills yet. Not quite sure why he doesn't go for mana burn. If he really thinks that he can get to level 2 earlier. He most likely will just be training up mana burn and evasion, and we'll see whether or not this fight will go down any particular way, as we already have the human player creeping out a second set of turtles. I don't believe this will get him to level 2. Maybe very close. Yes, it actually will get him to level 2. There we have it. 14 experience over. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter going after the giant sea turtle here should be able to get to level 2 in just a moment as well. And with that, level 2 Demon Hunter versus a level 2 Archmage. Archmage already has Brilliance Aura, already trying to creep out a rather difficult 7-4-4 creep camp, but the benefit of Militia turning all of those peasants into footmen, essentially, will be able to eat through the armor of those turtles, since it is medium armor, making them take additional damage. Gargantuan Sea Turtle now just simply going to get surrounded, as we already have one Militia retreating and returning back home. Are we perhaps going to see the Militia return back home? And yes, that Archmage will be very close to level 3 as it picks up a Scroll of the Beast. Demon Hunter now sitting at level 2 has to be careful. He is not in a very, very favorable position at all, as he needs to figure out what his follow-up strategy is. You can see the Ogre Magi and some Troll Trappers and Ogre Warriors currently asleep around the corner. That some of that DPS will be lost there, as the Demon Hunter is trying to creep out this creep camp. Archmage taking this opportunity to pick up Boots of Speed and Dust of Appearance to reveal any hidden archers, as down goes that Ogre Magi. Demon Hunter now with +9 damage, going after some of these units here. This could be a rather difficult battle. The Demon Hunter perhaps needing to get a little bit of evasion in there, and now the Demon Hunter going to continue to fight it out. Troll Trapper getting low. Troll Trapper will get taken down, and it is up to that Demon Hunter to drink some moon juice at these moon wells and get back up to full hit points. Meanwhile, Archmage is going to be coming in. Archmage, does it catch the Demon Hunter? Oh, the Demon Hunter is rather low, but the Demon Hunter going to be perhaps back over here. What is going to be happening is the Demon Hunter just going to round the corner, and oh my goodness, down to 40 hit points, and is able to sneak by. 23 hit points there. Wow, that was a rather gutsy move, I must say, as the Demon Hunter now back up to full, now looking to engage. Human player doing what human players do best, establishing an expansion in the center, and that will give him that economic advantage, but he will end up being taxed slightly higher. We now have a Panda joining in on the fight. Breath of Fire may be very, very useful, as the Demon Hunter already mana burning that Archmage. Archmage now essentially out of mana. What's going to be happening now, as the Panda could easily start Breath of Firing many of these footmen. Archers now attempting to get away still. Archmage trying to get away once more. Footmen versus archers, or footmen versus archers. Demon Hunter versus an Archmage. Both sides are on the run, so no one will really be losing any units here. And the longer this game goes, the more that this expansion will come into play. More experience, always very nice. Level 3 now finally on that Demon Hunter, as we are going to see the Archmage fall or kill an archer, and now get to level 3 as an archer falls here on Turtle Rock. So far, the strategy, Archmage needs to set up this expansion and now make sure to defend it. If we can perhaps see a decent scouting of what the Night Elf is going to be doing, we could have a bit of follow-up play. I wouldn't be surprised to see a blacksmith go down with workshops. Workshops very effective at training siege engines and mortar teams, and those mortar teams are very, very devastating to dryads and archers who generally tend to group up. All right, what is going on here? Why is that Demon Hunter just taking so much feedback damage, as the Panda now taking a lot of feedback damage? So far, we are going to see the archers slip through, and this is not a good fight for the Night Elf. A Breath of Fire just hitting a couple of those scout towers, but not much is really going on, as the Demon Hunter still has some tricks up its sleeve in order to get away. Double Dryads are now down. You can see Tree of Eternity is being added. It most likely will be bears, and if there are bears, the counter coming in from the human should be slow. Arcane Tower Sorceress will be able to cast slow pretty effectively. Archmage now essentially out of mana once more, down to 82 mana. Another mana burn would shut it down completely, as we are still fighting it out. Water Elemental is taking a bit of damage. What is going on here? Oh, Footman now trying to engage. Back down here, we can also see that the Water Elemental taking a lot of damage so far. Is it going to fall? That is a huge question. Yes, it is going to fall there, as the Panda still does not have enough mana, forced to back off, and the archers may try to engage again, as the Panda, not leading the charge, the Demon Hunter leading the charge, with the Panda not far behind. Archmage still sitting at level 3. Dryad's now looking to join in on the fight. There's a beautiful Breath of Fire hitting and dealing a lot of damage to those footmen, only to be undone by a healing scroll, or a scroll of regeneration. The scroll of regeneration will come into play, as you can see that there's still plenty of healing going on. The Panda unable to get off another Breath of Fire to disrupt all of that healing. Once those units take damage through an active attack, that healing is stopped. However, it looks as though most of the units are already healed back up to full. You cannot go beyond full hit points in the game, at least not with the Scroll of Regeneration. So far, Gargantuan Sea Turtle now going up against an Ancient of War. Ancient of War doing what it does best, tanking that damage while being repaired. We may see the Night Elf player try and establish up an expansion as well. The Gargantuan Sea Turtle already at 300 some odd hit points. Panda may get to level 2 here, if not off of this guy, off of the next one, and with plenty of experience to spare, he may now just simply run in and take down these giant sea turtles. Archmage still looking to come in. Panda sitting at level 2. It looks like the Ogre Magi here will get taken down by the Archmage, looking very strong. And both sides just very happy to do their own creeping. Ancient of War down to 93 hit points, now regenerating hit points just by eating trees. And at some point, I believe that Ancient of War will be rooting itself to offer some defense for what will be a Tree of Life. Alright, you can see that Ancient of War doing that slow walk over there. Archmage and Naga Sea Witch now trained up together. Double healing scrolls coming in from the human player. And that is going to make it very difficult for those Breaths of Fire to really do any damage. Once a Breath of Fire lands on a couple of units, all you're going to see is a healing scroll to quickly counteract that. As the Dryads are going after the heroes, and the heroes now being slowed, Archmage down to 440 some odd hit points, decides to back off.
Our warriors have engaged.
Panda now coming in, gonna take on the Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Panda looking to get to level 3, and the Demon Hunter sitting at level 3 already. We could have dual level 3s, and once this Panda gets to level 3, that Breath of Fire is just gonna be so much stronger. A much stronger Breath of Fire means that those footmen really don't stand nearly as much of a chance. Neither do these towers, as the towers are generally grouped up together. Bears now on the run. What's being sold? It looks as though the Scroll of the Beast was sold for 200 gold, and now where will he be retreating off to, as the Bears now trying to take this position here. Meanwhile, down here as well, you can already see that the Naga Sea was sitting at level 1. Archmage sitting at level 3, doing a bit of pressure on the front door. Ancient of War forced to root itself, as the Demon Hunter is already low on hit points. Dryads now trying to slow the Ogre Magi's down completely if possible. Demon Hunter now going after the rest of these units. Did we see a rune of healing, as now a Scroll of Town Portal does come into play. There's the Scroll of Town Portal. There's the Scroll of Town Portal to get the heck out of there. And both sides, with not very much room to run, force a Town Portal from each other. And the human player still looking pretty strong. Human player sitting at, I believe, Night Elf sitting at 49 over 50. Human player, I don't know. I would assume 50 over 50 as well. But he does have that bonus expansion. So once he does try to break into low upkeep, he will have a much more sizable army to deal with his opponent. Alright, Ogre Lord now going to get taken down. We see mass Druids of the Claw, 3 Druids of the Claw, Staff of Preservation on that Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter now is continuing to make its way in. Tome of Intelligence, most likely picked up by the Panda. Warsong Battle Drums, adding in additional damage as well. And additional damage, and I believe additional movement speed.
Your building is complete.
Additional movement speed for these units. Is it... no. Alright, so no additional movement speed. Maybe just additional damage. And that is it at this point. Alright, Demon Hunter still continuing to run around the corner. Perhaps it will take down this Troll Warlord trap camp again. Wow, I am so much more tired than I thought I was. As we see the Panda and the Demon Hunter still battling it out. The Demon Hunter and the Panda seem to have a significant advantage over human right now. It's a 4-4 versus a 3-2, and once the Demon Hunter gets to level 5, you're gonna definitely see a stop on the creeping here. Tome of Experience. Panda now sitting at 4.5. May get to level 5, which would be absolutely devastating. Level 3 Breath of Fire plus Drunken Haze equals a whole bunch of damage, and now the Demon Hunter will teleport back into his own base right there. Here comes the attack, although an Ancient of War was taken down, and we now see the Archmage backing off into the center again. Spellbreakers in position. What's happening here? You can see mortar teams taking a beating. Footmen do not have defend, and here we go. Both sides are fighting it out. Okay, this is looking rather dangerous. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation saving that? No, we are not. A split second too late, saving, I believe, a full hit point bear. Yeah, pretty much saving already a full hit point bear, and that's got to be very frustrating already, as the Demon Hunter now backs away. Panda in the front position. Bears are in position over here. Scrolls of healing, just constantly healing all the units. So far, a bear does go down. We now see level 3 on the Naga Sea Witch. Demon Hunter sitting at level 4. Panda sitting at level 5. The Demon Hunter is in a bit of trouble. What is going to happen to it? Are we going to see perhaps a transfer of the Staff of Preservation? That would be huge. I believe that, no, that was not a transfer, as the Panda had his own Staff of Preservation and was able to fight it off. Okay, there's a Breath of Fire dealing a lot of damage to the peasants, and now both sides will stop the engagement. No, it looks like they want to join in again as the mortar teams come in, but now that we have a level 5 Demon Hunter on the field, this may simply be too much. Archmage, and no, excuse me, the Naga Sea Witch gets mana burn for 123, no more mana essentially, or unable to sustain that mana that it really needs. Alright, Dryad's now looking to come in. It looks as though one Ivory Tower upgrading into a Guard Tower has been destroyed. Another one looks like it wants to fall, but the human player making sure that it does not get blown over in the breeze. Okay, so we are at Tree of Eternity for the Night Elf player. You can see him. He's finally getting into low upkeep, and at this point he needs to invest into his army until he gets about 70 to 80. He knows that his opponent is much stronger off of 2 bases, now soon to be 3, or already 3. So it's going to be a 3-base human versus a 1-base Night Elf, and that just doesn't sound fair. Alright, Spellbreakers already coming in to deal a lot of damage. There's the mortar teams already. The the Demon Hunter already rushing into position, trying to go after multiple units. Bears now showing up, and this is an interesting push now. The Demon Hunter, the anti-magic shell, the all of those spells are just absorbing so much damage, and with so much damage being absorbed, there's no real way to get rolling for the human player. The human player now just forced to back off again and just try and defend his naturals, his expansions, and if he does that, he will be successful, but not before 2 more buildings are taken down. Alright, let's see what will be happening now. Production tab. Do I even have a production tab? No, I do not. Okay, so Demon Hunter and Panda now just giving chase. It looks as though, yes, the poor Naga Sea Witch with a potion of invulnerability was able to stay alive just ever so barely, as it's continuing to perhaps regenerate some more hit points and get back into the swing of things. So far, 17 minutes into this game, no clear-cut winner. Panda sitting at level 5. Paladin and Panda both sitting at level 5. Meanwhile, down over here, Archmage sitting at 4. And where is the Naga Sea Witch? I know I saw it somewhere. There it is. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 3, almost level 4. Alright, Spellbreakers now being added into the army of Yumiko. This could spell the beginning of the end. The human player now having Spellbreakers should be able to go after Dryads, those Demon Hunters, and also absorb Breath of Fire without getting hurt by the Panda. The Panda has been just blowing Breath of Fire and forcing the human player to constantly get healing scrolls, which are not free. Alright, in comes the next engagement, and give me a second. Alright, sorry for the delay. Panda now sitting at level 5, getting very close to level 6. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter sitting at level 5, getting close to level 6, as they're both going to be fighting here. Alright, anti-magic shell, mana burn, and in comes the towers. A quick mana burn onto the Naga Sea Witch as they both continue to fight. Staff of Preservation, it looks like the Panda is now, in fact, level 6. There's the Breath of Fire. Staff of Preservation stave as Earth, Storm, and Fire now coming in. Alright, Earth, Storm, and Fire triple the heroes. This is going to be a problem as both sides are now fighting. There's a Cyclone picking up the Archmage. A quick dispel as the Bears are now going to town here. Alright, both sides are going to be continuing to fight. You can see that the mortar teams are trying to come in. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter trying to come back in again. Demon Hunter now backing off still. And somehow a 1-base Night Elf with so much experience on his heroes is just absolutely destroying this human. The human, level 4, level 3. Demon Hunter now sitting at level 6 as well. We could see, what is this? Could we see? Yes, we should be able to see Superman coming in just a second. Now, Mortar Team coming in, gonna get taken down, as we are still seeing both sides fight. Triple Bears, both sides continuing this pressure here, as we now see both sides just continuing to push forth once more. Alright, Druid of the Claws, Staff of Preservation, saving it again. Demon Hunter now with Metamorphosis, now looking to come in. There's a mana burn on the Naga Sea Witch again, as the units are now all backing off the Panda, in a little bit of trouble in the back. Are they going to be able to stay alive, as the Metamorphosed Demon Hunter is taking a lot of damage? Meanwhile, the Panda sitting on a... Whoa, this could be bad. The Demon Hunter now going to go down to 132. Staff of Preservation saves it again. I believe that was a Staff of Preservation saving it again. I thought it was on cooldown. Not quite sure how he got back out there, as the Naga Sea Witch continues to fight again. There's another Breath of Fire, Spellbreakers, and a lot of damage being dealt. Those bears are destroying this, as we now see, what, level 4 on the Archmage, level 4 on the Naga Sea Witch. The bear perhaps needs to back off, and will it be able to back off? Yes, it will in time, as the Metamorphosed Demon Hunter is coming in again. Staff of Preservation, no, doesn't save it this time, as we may see the Naga Sea Witch go down. Yes, it does. Panda now sitting at level 7, and wow, Yumiko says GG. Okay, I'm not sure how. I'm glad I took a little bit of a break in between that. That was a very, very fast ending, and I'm actually glad I got hyped up and was able to cast the last part on a full tank there. Great game by apm87 to take a game off of Yumiko. 1 base versus 3. And that Tome of Experience for that Panda really shifted things around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.